But my educational background training is in broadcast journalism. But prior to that, I actually have a specialization in conflict resolution, which I really enjoy conflict, but in the sense of I like to understand it, and I really feel like we can talk through anything if we just really dial into our needs. So many of us don't even know. I don't think we were actually taught from a young age what we need, or we were always told that, suppression and don't be too needy or this and that. So not connecting with our actual needs has caused a lot of issues, I find, for people in communicating their authentic feelings. So I got my BA in public service studies, which led me to wanting to do a specialization in conflict resolution. But before that, I had moved to Korea and stuff like that. I really didn't know what I actually wanted to do in life until I was probably, I think, 27 or something. There was a period of time where I just kind of I knew, but not really, and I trusted and stuff. And I like to say that things kind of unfolded in an organic way. Of course, I was dialed into my passions and stuff like that, but I think my spirituality really pushed me along the way. John, me and you have spoken before, and you've asked me when did you start meditating and getting into all of the spirituality stuff? And it really started when I was 20, to be honest. I remember I got my heart broken for the first time, and it crushed me. I spiraled, and I really hit a low. And I've heard this often from people, you hit that rock bottom type thing, and you find something higher. You find the light, quote unquote. Right. But it was, I think, Deepak Chopra's book, what's it called again? How to Know God. That really kind of changed a lot. And my poetry, so I also do spoken word poetry, and that brought me back from the dead, I would say. I still often partake in it, and I started my own slam series here in Markham back in, I think, 2008.
That's my hometown.
I moved to BC for a while. Yeah, I love spoken word. Shout out to all my poet friends and in the slam community. Love those guys. But I think your original question was how I got to collective evolution, but I can't get there. I can't get there until I tell you other things.
Of course. You know what? It's a journey, and I think you're not the only one. I find that even when I was young, I find that, up until you're in your late 20s, you don't really know what you want to do because you haven't found yourself yet. You haven't found, that thing, you know what I mean? So you're not alone with it. Totally. And I think even more so because there's so much more options for people now, it's even more confusing, right?
Yes, it really is. And I'd offer this piece of advice because sometimes, you can be 45, 60, 55, 37, whatever, and you can still question everything. Who am I? Yes. What do I want? And what am I good at? So one of the things that really helped me dial into kind of my passions and what I want to do in life is taking an inventory of what I'm actually good at and what I enjoy doing. And they could be obscure things. It's not necessarily writing or painting or, arguing even. It could be very obscure things hey, I'm really good at visualization, or I'm really good at seeing the big picture really quickly. So how can I translate those types of skills into a setting that can make me money and I can enjoy doing it? So sitting down and really thinking about what you're good at, even maybe it's stuff that other people have told you. Hey, you're a really good listener, or thanks, and just playing around with that and seeing how it goes. Because I think finding our passion in life or what drives us is such a hot topic always. I'm not going to say right now. It's a forever thing because I think right now more so. I know a bunch of people that hate their jobs right now. Like the 9 to 5 grind is just killing people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So why? Why is it so challenging to adhere to the 9 to 5 grind right now?
There's one little piece I can actually say about the 9 to 5 grind that I noticed. I was on that side of the fence, and now that I'm on this side, I can actually really sit down and reflect back. And the one thing that I noticed is the biggest difference that I've noticed, there's a lot of differences, but the biggest difference I noticed between entrepreneurship and doing the 9 to 5 is that when you're in the 9 to 5, you're waiting for instructions. You're waiting to be told what to do. Whereas as an entrepreneur, you're not asking for permission. You're not waiting for permission. You're giving yourself permission.
Right. Jen, that's a great point. Actually, that's huge because, being an entrepreneur is not all flowers and rainbows. And,
God, no.
You get to you can make your own schedule and shit, and that's awesome. But you are a hustler. You are looking for that next contract. You are really, you're on social media. You're doing your marketing. Like, it's crazy.
You're questioning yourself. You're doubting yourself. You don't have a team. You're like, what the hell am I doing today? Oh yeah.
I know. It's crazy. So with CE, so I was in corporate, television. I came from a television background. Right after JB school, I started applying all over Canada, especially in media. It's so hard to get a job inside, and if you get a job, you just go, you take it. So I moved across the country to British Columbia for a part-time job. Wow. Because you have to go sometimes, and I knew it was a good foot in the door. And it was a little town called Powell River, and it was at the time it was maybe 16,000 population. And I actually got a phone call from my supervisor at the time, and I didn't actually remember where Powell River was because I applied to Newfoundland, crazy places, Yukon territories, anywhere I could go. And so he calls and he's like, "Hey, Rajie, we'd like to set up an interview." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was just so happy to get an interview. I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Tell me the time, I'll be there and the address." And he's like, "Well, there's 3-hour time difference and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, 3 hours." He's like, "We're in BC, right?" And I was like, "Oh," and I literally took the phone away from my face and did one of the yes. If there was anywhere in Canada that I was gonna move, please God, let it be BC.
Oh yes, beautiful, absolutely.
Yeah, so it worked out. I love Powell River. It's on the Sunshine Coast, 2 ferries away from Vancouver, totally north. I was there for a year, and I learned so much. And then a full-time position came up in Victoria, and so I moved down there, got a lot of experience, was finally in a team. When I lived in Powell River doing the journalist thing, the television, I was by myself. I shot, I edited, I produced, I reported on my own stories. Yeah, you have to be an all-around kid nowadays in media. So, and then by the end, it just kind of, I didn't see longevity in it, and I think we all know where television news is kind of heading the 6 o'clock. Everyone's going online, and it was a blessing, and it was a true blessing to actually hook up with CE, and it was almost a dream come true. I had met Joe, the founder, about 3.5 years prior to that, randomly, completely randomly at a documentary screening
is random.
I know, right? Now
the universe was working in your favor, hun.
It really was, because then I got to, because we met after The Shift Part 3. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I can post a link, and I highly recommend everyone watch Collective Evolution, The Shift Part 3. It's very relevant right now to what's happening in the world. And there was a panel discussion right after the film, and I asked a question, Joe answered, and we stayed in contact, and I was like, "Listen, I love what you guys are doing. We need more of this right now in the world. So I got to peace out to BC, but let's stay in contact." and who knows, maybe we can work together in the future. So I ended up moving back to Toronto and kind of heading up the video side within CE and helping grow the page and getting video content out there. When I started like a year and a half ago, video, like the text videos and stuff, were just coming out, and the landscape has changed so much, guys, online and how people consume news and media and stuff. It's pretty radical what's happening with the changing face of like digital media right now, and especially with the whole fake news stuff. There's a lot going on. So
crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. And because last time we spoke too, or you mentioned that you took some time from Ecuador, right? You took some time off. How was that? Can you share that with us?
Yes, I would love to. So in August, I decided that I wanted to do a 200-hour yoga teacher training certification. So many people have asked why Ecuador. To be honest, I back in March, I was looking for something, and you guys need to know, like, when I feel something, there's no stopping it. Like, no matter how much I try, like on the from a mental perspective, like, Raj, now's not the time. You got to focus on this, this, and this. But it's like the heart wants what it wants, and I knew that I needed to do something. So I started looking and putting it kind of out there. I was looking for like a week kind of thing. I did Vipassana for my 27th birthday. I'm 31 now, and I thought about doing it again, but I was like, let's see. And then my friend Amanda, who I work with, mentioned that there was a yoga retreat happening that one of her friends' family is hosting. They're from Toronto, and you should check them out. Home Healing Center. Checked it out, took one look, spoke with Maria, the woman who was organizing it, and I was like, okay, this is for me. And so I was gearing up to go the months leading up to August, and it was a beautiful time. So much yoga happened off the mat, guys. Like, we were in the Andes, eating amazing organic food, all vegetarian, no alcohol, no coffee. It was like kind of like a whole month detox, and doing 200 hours of yoga and meditation. There was a shamanic ceremony as well. I got to partake in San Pedro ceremony. Do you guys know about San Pedro at all?
Yes, I do.
Nice. Okay, so it's like a plant medicine. It's a cactus, and that was a beautiful experience. I connected that whole month. I seriously connected to myself so much so that when I came back, it was really, really challenging to adjust. And like, how do I missed myself, to be honest, like, it was crazy. Like, I think I was like depressed for a week and a half because I was like, I don't know how to incorporate or balance, I guess, everything that I felt and learned over there and here, with chaotic kind of work and family and friends and all of this stuff. So I removed myself for 1 month, and I deeply wish in my heart everyone can go for 1 month. And I feel like if you can, just go. I would encourage everyone always to travel. I started traveling when I was like 22. When I moved to Korea, I came back, and then moved to Japan for a year, came back, and then, lived in DC and came back. Like, home is always, in your body, in your heart, in your spirit, right? And I always encourage everyone to travel and change your perspective. And I mean, you don't necessarily have to travel to a new country to change your perspective, but there's something about challenging and stepping out of your comfort zone completely. And doing yoga for a whole month was completely out of my comfort zone. Me and yoga have had an off and on relationship for about 8 years, and I was ready to take it to the next level. And so now I'm looking to do in-home yoga on demand private lessons with people, and at the same time, we could talk about keeping you accountable to different things in your life that you want to kind of ramp up, because it's all about evolution, right? As human beings, we got to evolve, and we need help along the way. So I want to be there for people in a strong way just because there was times on my journey that I didn't feel like I had anyone, and I felt alone and sad sometimes. So I want to make sure I'm there for people, and yeah. So
you got us.
Yeah, exactly. Got you guys.
But recently, since you've been back, you led a retreat.
Yes.
I saw it on Facebook. That was pretty interesting. And if you want to share with everyone what the retreat is all about.